Hello everyone. Welcome. It's Monday, August 3rd, 2026, and you have stumbled upon where the rubber meets the road. This is where we talk about teachings of A Course in Miracles and how we apply them to our everyday life. I'm Rona Marren, and I'd like to welcome you. Thanks for being here in person and on the recording later if you're listening to this at another point. I'm just led to say that I'm very grateful for the joining that happens in this community. That was something that stuck up with me as I was reading through this passage. We're going to talk about Beyond the Body, which is chapter 18, section 7 in the purple book on page 589. And I'm just incredibly grateful to have a place that I can come and talk about these things and carry a little bit of a story and not get stuck in it and move through it with you all. You give me the courage to do that. So, what I propose to do is play us a song. And then what was really funny was obviously we've read this section a couple of times, or at least I have, because there's underlines and highlights. So this time through, I used a red pen. It's the first section I've done that with, but what I love about the fact that, yeah, we may have looked at this before, but now is so new. And there's a message in there for now. No matter what now is bringing, what is appearing in the now, there's a message for now. And so instead of relying upon things that had been underlined or highlighted before, I tried to read it with a fresh and open heart and see what the message was for me this weekend. So the first thing I'm going to do is play a song. And it's one of the Rumi poems that they've put to music. And it's just a very it's just one picture of flowers. So there's not much to look at. So I invite you to just, get comfortable and sit back and listen. And then we will hear some of the section 7 Beyond the Body.
I woke beneath a borrowed sky with borrowed breath and wondering eyes. Every road I chose to roam whispered softly, this is not your home. I gathered crowns made out of dust, built my dreams on fading rust. Still a silence called my name, like a hidden fire inside the flame. Place this heartbeat in my chest? Why this hunger with no rest? Why do stars remember me before I learned to see? Why was I created to wander or awaken? Am I a drop that left the sea, or does the sea remember me? If every soul was lit to burn, why does mine still ache to return? Tell me, Maker, patiently, why was I created? Every wound became a door, leading somewhere I'd ignored. Every tear became a stream, flowing toward an unseen dream. The wind said, lose what isn't true. The moon replied, I'm guiding you. Every ending softly proved love is never truly moved. Maybe I was never made to own the world or seek its praise. Maybe every breath I take is one more step the heart must make. The mirror cleared and showed the sky, and I forgot the word why. For in surrender I could see the answer was discovering me. Was I created not to fear the unknown, but to become the song you hear when every borrowed self has disappeared? I was a question in the night, searching for its hidden light. Now my soul begins to see. I was created to return to the love that first imagined me. The river doesn't ask the sea why it flows so endlessly. It simply finds the place where it has always longed to be.
There is nothing outside you. That's what I've been playing with all weekend long. Heaven is not a place or a condition. It is merely an awareness of perfect oneness and the knowledge that there is nothing else, nothing outside this oneness, and nothing else within. So this illusion here has created some sort of barrier. And that barrier seems to be this body that for a long time I thought was what I was. You know, I'm this body, I'm this mind, I'm breathing. That song so beautifully, points out we are being breathed. I'm just skipping around a little bit. This is from paragraph 4. The mind is clearly delusional. The body was not made by love, but love does not condemn it and can use it lovingly, respecting what the Son of God has made and using it to save him from illusions. So what that says to me is that the body is something that is useful in communication, in moving through this dream. It's useful. So don't condemn it. Somehow the body becomes something that is hated. I long time and still have these thoughts that the way the body looks equals worth, and just to prove it to myself, I stepped on the scale right before this meeting and I was like, see? And I said to the mind, I'm like, I'm not going to let you ruin my day because everything still fits the same. And we're only talking about 2 pounds, right? But I did it on purpose just to see. And now I'm telling you out loud to kind of shine a light on that and say, the gig is up because the body is an appearance. And it's everything is made from love. Everything I see. God is in everything I see, every appearance. So am I willing? Because that's what it takes, is the willingness to step back and love, even love the mind and its thoughts about the body. It's okay, honey. It's okay. This is from 7. You have identified with this thing you hate, the instrument of vengeance and the perceived source of guilt. You have done this to a thing that has no meaning, proclaiming it to be the dwelling place of the Son of God and turning it against him. You know, is God out there flying around on a cloud in the universe somewhere? Is God in here? Deep down within us is the fundamental idea of God. Where is it? It's everywhere. There's no barrier. And I just have to be willing to see that. Or if I can't see it, ask for help for it to be seen. It's just another appearance. And so sitting with this weekend, what I realized was the body, I mean, what's so important here is this next statement. Minds are joined. That's where the healing is happening. Like we sit in these gatherings and I listen what comes through you guys and I take it in and I begin to know it's true. I am loved, I am loving, and I can love even the self. It's not something to try to get rid of anymore. There's been so many pointers over the last week, this ego, this self, this created thing. Why do I want to get rid of it? I'm just pointing more hatred and anger towards something. That isn't really helpful. You know, you see yourself as locked in a separate prison, remote and unreachable and incapable of reaching out as being reached. Gosh, my own mind is my own prison. So what came up for me, here's a little story, right? For the last, we'll say 24 hours or so, I've noticed some anger creeping in. And the way that I've noticed that is I'm kind of biting off my words and thoughts of others are super critical. Like, why did you buy a tabletop ice machine? We have 3 ice makers in this house. Thank goodness I don't say those things out loud anymore. And I don't beat myself up for saying them. But that was kind of the first appearance that there was some sort of misalignment going on here. Because I questioned it. Why do you care? You know? I can think of all the crazy little doodads and things that I buy. Nobody says anything to me. That was all what was going on in the mind, to just try to soothe it a little bit. you know? The body is a limit imposed on the universal communication, which is an eternal property of the mind. But the communication is internal. Mind reaches to itself. It's not made up of different parts. It does not go out. Within itself, it has no limits, and there is nothing outside it. It encompasses everything. The body is outside you and seems to surround you, shutting you off from others and keeping you apart from them and them from you. It is not there. So as I sat with that, I was like, there's no separation here. And thoughts of love started coming up and things like, isn't it great that he can just buy that ice maker? I bet you that made him feel better. Which brings me to the second part of the story. My mom-in-law is coming tomorrow for a week. I'm nervous. I cleaned the little house. We cleaned some things around here. I want it to be nice for her. But it's a change in the daily routine. And then Dave told me he has to work late and leave early for several days this week. And then I remembered that my good little friend Elizabeth, that our caregiver Diane is going to college on Wednesday. So Diane's leaving on Sunday for a week. And there it all is, the fear. Can I take care of my own child by myself? It's so silly. But until I admitted that that was the fear and that was what was coming up, that somehow I couldn't perform who, that somehow that the next several days or so are going to be hard for who, there's only now. So I realized I need to tell someone and speak it out loud. So I called my good friend Maureen before this meeting. She guides me in my recovery program, and we talked for a while and we laughed. And then I went back to this reading. From paragraph 11, you cannot put a barrier around yourself because God placed none between himself and you. Your hand can stretch out and reach to heaven. And so now it enters into what happens when I recognize what's really going on. Fear, 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 fear. Future, 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 future. you know? And this is where I pause. And here's another beautiful example of what happens when I am willing to do it. Everyone has experienced what he would call a sense of being transported beyond himself. This feeling of liberation far exceeds the dream of freedom sometimes experienced in the special relationship, which to me means all these people and mother-in-laws and husbands and kids and all that. It's a sense of actual escape from limitations. It is a sudden unawareness of the body and a joining of yourself and something else in which your mind enlarges to encompass it. It becomes part of you as you unite with it, and both become whole, and neither is perceived as separate. What really happens is that you have given up the illusion of a limited awareness and lost your fear of union. You have escaped from fear to peace. You have accepted this instead of the body and have let yourself be one with something beyond it, simply by not letting your mind be limited by it. Oh my goodness, I forgot again that there's no separation. It's just that simple, you know? Forget and remember and forget and remember. And there's such a healing balm when you take that moment to pause. In these instants of release from physical restrictions, you experience much of what happens in the holy instant. That's from paragraph 15. The lifting of the barriers of time and space, the sudden experience of peace and joy, and above all, the lack of awareness of the body. When I'm in those moments of pausing and all that, yeah, there's no real awareness of bodies in that moment. It's a willingness to join, to remember that there's nothing to fear. I'm always fully equipped to meet whatever's in front of me. And if I don't feel like I am, I ask for help. There's the key. Don't forget to ask a lot. So in paragraph 16, it kind of describes like a portal, the sudden expansion of the self that takes place with your desire for it is the irresistible appeal the holy instant holds. And I just want to express my gratitude to whatever that helps me remember to do it, to take that moment, because I'm amazed how much I remember now to do it. And I'm really grateful because it does make this dream a heck of a lot easier and more peaceful and joyful. There are the laws of limit lifted for you to welcome you to openness of mind and freedom. Come to this place of refuge where you can be yourself in peace, not through destruction, not through breaking out, but merely by a quiet melting in. There's just this moment of melting, right? I think it's a great description of it. Like the fear kind of melts away just for the moment. I mean, I'm not delusional. I have a sense it might come back. It's okay. But I feel like, the big attack, the initial attack has been thwarted with the holy instant. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. You've done this before, you know. Peace will join you there simply because you have been willing to let go the limits you have placed on love and joined it where it is and where it led you in answer to its gentle call to be at peace. What do I want more than anything else? I just want to be at peace, and I'm grateful now that the princess and the pea thing goes on, where just a little murmur of misalignment before it totally ruins my day or I ruin someone else's day. That I have these tools. So that's what I spent the weekend with. And it was really helpful. And I'm glad that, life gave me an example. Because when I first started reading, I was like, I wonder what I'm going to talk about. And of course, the mind was going, this is going to suck. But I don't think it did at all. I feel really clean and clear and ready for the rest of this 24 hours, whatever it brings. So with that, I'll open it up and see what y'all have to share. Thank you. Hello, Cyndi.
Hello, Rona. Thank you for this. Kind of told you before the meeting started, I'm a little stuck in the very first sentence. There's nothing outside of you. Just sinking into this feeling that if I fully embrace and fully live from just that one sentence, everything that is unlike that or would indicate something other would have to be transformed. But I'm inspired to just read what I kind of wrote before my diet this morning and then talk a little bit about what happened during and right after the diet, because it's not all that, well, it's my example of this. So what I wrote to set the space for my day. First, I quoted these lines from Mary Oliver that I've been living with that seem to be really appropriate. Um, One morning, the fox came down the hill, glittering and confident, and didn't see me. And I thought, so this is the world. I'm not in it. It is beautiful. Everything is me. God is, it simply is, so I must be that, right? And so I followed that with these lines from this section. There is nothing outside of you, the body, and they're not in order. So there's nothing outside of you. The body is a limit imposed on the universal communication, which is an eternal property of mind. But communication is internal. Mind reaches to itself. There's nothing outside of me. So there's no body? Question mark. It's not there based on this teaching, not as a barrier. And that's a whole bunch of other teachings. So there is no barrier between God and me, which means there's no barrier between God and you, and there's no barrier between me and you, not in the truth. There's only God. God is, it simply is, right? So, and yet, the experience of the body is loud. There's sensations, there's thoughts, there's all these things. I'm watching it. So what gives? I wrote all these things down, and then I just wrote, so as I enter the dyadic experience, which is this day, every time I am, even though I'm stepping into the formal dyad experience, there's a recognition that every time I'm talking to somebody else, it's a dyadic experience, right? That allows me to see what I'm reflecting. As I enter the dyadic experience, which is this day, I will, for the highest vibrational realization that can be received, integrated, and embodied and expressed, which is my current, like, walking around space that is also influenced by the guides who said, we can't give you all the light at once, you'd blow up. I don't remember their exact words, but you can't handle all the light at once. So we give you what you can embody. And they continually state they teach in a one-room schoolhouse. So you're always getting what you need. So this is my state, and I'm fully able and I'm present, and I step into this dyadic experience, and halfway through, my phone rings and it's over there. And I don't look at it, so I don't know who called. I just pressed the button to stop the ringing, and my body reacted in fear, right? Pavlov's dog, I felt the Pavlov dog response to the ringing bell. Like, what if there's a problem? What if it's one of my kids? What if it's something with my parents? What if somebody needs me? And I saw the thinking mind, even in the middle of this experience, like try to rationalize, right? It's probably, and Rona will laugh, but the thought was, it's probably just Rona, right? It's probably just Rona, or it's right. But that was, I knew it wasn't useful. I've been asking to see everything. And so it was a definite fear response. And I consciously chose in the dyad not to use the rational mind to mitigate it, but to recognize that fear only comes from the belief that there's something outside of God, which is what the teaching is talking about. So I let it come up, and I finished the dyad, and I really, like, I felt the heart pounding. I communicated to my partner the experience of fear. I was in the recognition that God simply is. So the fear response was pointing to something outside of reality. And it didn't even have a story to land on, right? And it was an extraordinary experience. I get to the end of the dyad, and I finally look at my phone, and it's Emma. Now, Emma's not calling me at 10 o'clock in the morning or 10:30 in the morning. There must be something wrong, right? So it was so interesting letting it activate again, but it was so much quieter. And I just, I sent the text because now it's an appropriate time. I'm free till 11:30 to talk. Everything okay? And her response was, yeah, I was just putting the schedule together for next week. And do you want me to open instead of close on Thursday so we could go out for your birthday? That was it. And I was laughing because every part of the experience, like the rational mind had no clue. Like the entire fear response was in response to a bell, not even to anything that seemingly happened in the world. And it activated in a place where I was able to be present this belief that was in the body that there's a barrier between me and God. And so I let it, awareness alone I heard was curative. So I just let it come and I just watched the experience of fear and something got healed. So thank you. I don't actually have this section highlighted much, so I don't remember when we've done it before, but it was as if it was for the first time for me, Rana. So it's just feeling really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. It's always new and fresh. What Cyndi was just talking about highlighted a conditioning that I had growing up. If the phone rang in my house after 9 o'clock at night, before it got picked up, I heard, and instead of answering the phone, hello, it was always, what's wrong? Because it was most likely one of my mom's sisters about something, you know. And and I see that conditioning. And I also really appreciate what you said, Cyndi, is that there was no story to land on. But what I heard and what happens here is a multitude of possible reasons, outcomes occur in like a nanosecond. And it's so great to be able to see that now and also see how wrong I was about it. I mean, to have your daughter call you up and say, can we, I'm scheduling around your birthday. I mean, that is such the universe having a sense of humor, to be able to instill this lesson, you know. So anyway, Amy, can we hear from you? Please?
I love you all. Good morning. Good morning on Monday. It's afternoon now. Oh boy. I I am feeling trapped in the body today. And I know that I'm not the body, but the body's really tired. And I don't really know why. Um, it's just very tired and very unenthused about life. And I think a part of this mind is really exhausted itself with um, seeing difficulty, difficult emotions, difficult situations, difficult responses, whatever difficult is, uncomfortable, anxious, fear-based, whatever name you want to add to it. And then going into the now, being present in the now, coming back, having a holiday, and then the world takes up again. And then like you said so perfectly, Rona, in a nanosecond, it's noticed. And then I go back into the now, and I'm finding I'm this body, this whatever is exhausted with it, going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And all I want to do is be alone. Because that way nothing interferes with my moment. I can stay quiet. Right? And this morning, my husband invited the grandkids over to make muffins with him. And I was annoyed because he didn't ask me first. And, here I am trying to do this, and they're all in the kitchen making muffins. And I'm annoyed with them. I'm annoyed with him. I'm annoyed with myself. And I just think, why the fuck can't this body mind do what the I am knows? How many times do I have to dip the cloth in the I am before the dye is gone? How many times? So I feel trapped by the body this morning. And when I identify with my mind, I go into the quiet. I can't reach outside of it either. It's like the body feels trapped and heavy and limiting. And then when I go into the quiet, yes, there's an empty openness. It's infinite, it's unlimited, and I could just stay there forever. But I think sometimes I sit in the stillness and there's still the expectation that, okay, something's going to happen in this stillness that will solve all the rest of this life in this body so that there will never be disruption again. Right? Right. And so then I find, I'm sorry, you asked, I'm going on and on, but I'm going to do it. I'm taking the bull by the horns. So then I find myself apart from the world, from others in both body and mind, because I look around and I think, well, they don't know what I know. They don't know that they're not a body. And so my mind can't reach theirs because they still think they're a body. And I can't reach them in a way that feels really meaningful to me. And I'm curious here on note 20 at the bottom of page 589, the reason the mind cannot attack is because minds are continuous with each other. I find A Course to be very confusing with the word mind sometimes because the small self thinks it thinks, but if the mind is continuous and I cannot reach another mind except in the stillness and the silence, which is where now I find that I just want to spend all my time, then what is the mind? I don't understand. So I guess I would say this morning I am still looking to be lifted out of the body, right? And I'm looking at paragraph 15. You are not really lifted out of it, the body. This is paragraph 15, sentence 4. It cannot contain you. And yet I find something within me wanting to be lifted out of this experience. And where would I go if I'm lifted out of this experience? Somewhere better? And where would that be? Where would that be? And so then I recognize that, well, behind all of this machination, all of it is the quiet that's never left. It's still there. It's fine with me having a little hissy fit here and doing what I'm doing because it's still there. It's never left. But there are times I have to admit when the mind that identifies as I gets bored with it. or I find that that's the only place I want to be, and this world won't let me just be there. Right. So that's kind of where I am this morning. And thanks for asking.
Thank you, Amy. That was perfect. And I just appreciate your honesty and just telling us where you're at right now. Really great description. And I appreciate your input very much. Thank you for being willing
Thank you.
and letting me poke you.
You poke me. You can
Yeah.
poke me anytime.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. Hello, dear Lonnie.
Good morning, dear family. Thank you. Thank you all. And thank you, Amy, because you made my finger press the button. I can't even say specifically why or how. Whew. I actually just read all of this morning, and I realized there's a little story or something that goes on in this being about writing in this book because the resistance was real about just writing. And so for some reason we decided to just put little stars around the sentences that were our favorite sentences. The beauty of it was literally every single sentence you identified, Rana, were those sentences. My favorite sentence in this whole passage is that one that Cyndi mentioned. The It is, well, I think that's what you said. It is merely an awareness of perfect oneness. Heaven is not a place or a condition. It is merely a place of perfect oneness and the knowledge that there is nothing else, nothing outside this oneness and nothing else within. That's where the tears keep coming. And it's not sad tears. It's just, it's so big and so profound until it just brings tears. I went to bed last night in conference. My system was in conference. And I woke up this morning and it was still going on. So I was curious about it and trying not to tell a story about it, but listening. And it took me I had literally two full sessions with people this morning by 9 o'clock. And once I was done, I sat on the side of my bed for like 30 minutes, unable to move. And then I just kind of set a cast line. Let's go brush teeth and do. I was able to do that. And then it was, okay, cup of coffee. I could do that. And I made a peanut butter and jelly muffin for breakfast, little things like that. And then I sat at my bar in the kitchen and could not move, could not get the body to do anything. Literally could not. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm listening to the thoughts, to the Ilani thoughts, and it was just like I'm drowning and I'm stuck. What's going on? Here's where something different happened. I have a team of people that I'm working with and building something with. And I keep being reminded that I'm given everything I need to do what it is that I'm being brought to do. So I just sent out, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. And that was all. Within 2 minutes, the phone rang. And it was one of the team. She says, what does that mean? And that's when it all came flowing, that we're sitting before this table of consideration. And it is completely filled and covered with so many different things. And that literally the body cannot know or does not know what to touch or where to go or what to do. And somehow in the conversation, what got re-centered in was all you got to do is the next moment. The rest of the stuff on that table of consideration is going to be there, but just the next moment. So what's the next moment? Well, the next moment was this meeting. Well, let's work on getting just to the next moment. And then you talked, Rona, and you talked about help, asking for help. And that doesn't always come in, I need help. God hears the call for help when we never even say the word or acknowledge to ourselves that we're asking for it. I'm stuck was help. I need someone to see me, hear me, and support. I need something here. And it came just like that. And then today, in sitting in this meeting, the help came again with every single word that I am hearing. One of the other favorite sentences in this was, let me just grab it really quick. Would you not have the instruments of separation reinterpreted as means for salvation and used for purposes of love? That was huge because it gave me and sitting back, I read this after all of that went on, and I realized, wow, it's possible to take all of this that makes me feel like something other and help me to know that it's why I'm a part of all that is. I can literally flip that coin over. So as I go into moment by moment and live in this day moment by moment, in every friggin' moment, what I need is being provided, even when I don't know that I need it. Because although I'm still teary, I am 100% not lost at the table of consideration. And I don't anymore feel like I've got to tackle it all. I just have to be in this moment. And in this moment, there is no problem. There is no issue. And if there are tears, they're beautiful, cleansing tears, because there also is no separation. I hope that made sense, but love you all. I am complete.
Thank you, Lonnie. That made perfect sense. It was beautiful. Thank you for tying everything that's been happening here together. I'm glad you're unstuck in this now moment. And thank you for being honest about being stuck. I think it's important for us to be honest about those things. We can do all kinds of things I can't do alone, for sure. Hi, Jules.
Good morning, people. Still morning here, family. I love it when Lottie says hello, family. Like Lonnie, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh gosh, I wanted to cry, Lonnie. Oh my gosh. I mean, Rona, the minute you did that song, Rumi, why are we created? Oh my gosh, I was like crying. I'm just like listening to it and with the love. And so I read this morning too, just about a half hour ago. So I don't really have, and I underlined a lot because it was my first time. So I don't really have a favorite section. It's just is really helping me to comprehend that it is just a body. So I really appreciate this lesson. Yesterday, Livy and I have been trying to FaceTime every other Friday, and we FaceTimed on Saturday. And I told her I was behind in listening to some of our spiritual podcasts, things like that. And I was going to take time this weekend to do that because Julie's still learning how to be still. It's still very hard for me to be still. I've got a couple hours. I feel like I have to fill it with stuff. So yesterday I did that, and I listened to one of Regina's homily, which was the first time I really listened to Regina, and it was really beautiful. And then I re-listened to Helen Hamilton's thing we had for Thursday because I was at my son's and I couldn't listen to it. And then I wanted to listen to what you guys discussed on Thursday from her podcast video. And I just got to say, I came away from that hour and just really loving that I'm a part of all of you guys, because you guys were just, whoa, it was just so full of love. You know, Jerry, I was struggling. I don't want to go into that, and then how Cyndi was so loving, and then Amy and other people. But you guys your shares just made me want to be like, oh my God, I'm so glad I know you people and I'm a part of this gathering. And that just to focus on now. And then for Amy today being human, I appreciate that. And all of you, and it's just, yeah. And it's funny, Rona, when you were talking about Dave, Dean, we have a dog, Adele, and Dean's not really good, but when he uses the last poop bag to refill it. And so when we were back here months ago, well, it doesn't, anyway, so he forgot to fill it, and I'm walking Adele, and all of a sudden I realized, and she took a crap, and I didn't have one, and it was like, oh shit. And it was like, and I wanted to pick it up because it was not our neighborhood and all that. So I go back to him and I just ripped him a new out. So I was so mad. So yesterday I was walking her. Luckily I checked. I'm like, oh, he forgot the poop bag. And I didn't get mad. I just walked right back in. Okay, let's go back. Let's get the poop bag. And then this morning I said, hey, by the way, I noticed you forgot to put the poop bag. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, it's okay. I was just glad how I handled it because I didn't go, I can't believe I told you this, you didn't. So I'm glad that it wasn't worth argument because it's a poop bag. It's okay, and I'm seeing that through all of you guys. And so that made me think of that, Rona, when you were talking about with Dave with the ice maker and all of that. So yes, so I'm just grateful that I'm accepting that this is just a body. And, unfortunately, I was very body shamed when I was growing up. So the body image has been very instilled in me. And I am learning through this gathering that it is just a body. It's not what's inside. It's all about love. And I have to love me, warts and all. And I just thank you guys for giving me these reminders. And I just got to say thank you for recording these, because when we can't be there, we can still record and listen and just feel your love. And that really, that it just made my day yesterday. And if I had all your numbers, I would text you all and just say, I love you, I love you, I love you, because it just, so love you. Glad to be here. And that's it.
Thank you, Julie. I love you too. I'm so glad you're part of this group. John Sunday,
Yeah, thanks.
what you got?
I first I've got to thank Julie, because you bring so much joy and enthusiasm to the program. And your presence is just so enjoyable. Thank you so much. And you know what else? I'm going from ice maker to poop bag now, so this is my share. So let me just say this: when Lonnie was talking about the synchronicity of all the things that's happening, and she's mentioning about the song, and I thought to this, oh, that's exactly right. That's so right, because every breath I'm breathed with every breath, and can I settle into that just for a minute? It speaks to Rona, just talking the word peace. Oh my God, I don't want much more than peace. I'll settle for peace. Oh, so it's just great to be here in this vibration, and thank you for reporting on your listening to the repeat of the program, and you got something out of it, because the fact that you've reported that may inspire other people to listen, to things because there's a lot of fun in that band. So the thing that made me press the button is essentially, and I don't know what it was, but it was something about from the course, and it's what I got from Cyndi sent out the Sister Elia Delio program we're going to do on Thursday, and I watched it, And she said she knocked for me right out the park with her. She's a sister, a Franciscan sister, and she's a scientist first, in all her training. And she looks like her head is like, all the brainy people, they got like genius people got big heads and they go like down, and so she has a brilliant mind, and she's specialized in neurology. And she's saying she had a Catholic training, but she wasn't a big deal Catholic. But when she looked under a microscope at a neuron at 300,000 amplifications, and she could see a whole city inside a neuron, she knew there was a God somewhere. That made total sense to her. And one of the things that the definitions that I got off that was about God. She's an unconditional field of divine love, and it's we that have to open up to it. So and that kind of speaks to the cry. What I heard Lonnie saying, actually the cry for help, and putting myself out, and Amy putting herself out, reporting and stuff. I'm here for help. Well, I think we all show up here for help. If you're in some description, if you're not offering help, like Rona was offering incredible help today with her study of that section. And by the way, I wrote on the top here before, the origin and purpose of the body is on that page, and it follows in the little garden, which is the next one. It was so beautiful. It just flows and flows and flows. It's never ending, giving, giving, giving. So anyway, it was very helpful for me to show up and report what's going on for me. But one of the things that Amy's talking about the mind, don't understand it, and it came from Sister Elio. She's talking about one of the interviews. She's talking about the aspens and the mushrooms and things like that. They appear to be separate when above the ground, but beneath the ground they're all connected. The root system is all connected. And that's like a metaphor or an analogy for, how we can be separate, seemingly separate, but we're actually all connected. So having said all that, I like to just say welcome to a new week. And God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, John. Fabulous. Sandra?
There's only a few minutes and I want to give them to William.
You may do that. Hello, William. Got to unmute, my friend. There you go.
Well, when I see the flowers in the room thing, I feel that's where I can go. When I listen to all of you, Rona, when you talk, it's like you're singing those flowers to me. I just get so lost in that nice feeling. And then when I hear the rest of you, it's like what I'm leading up to is that my mind is like the poop bag itself. I just feel that I live in that poop bag. And I love what Helen says is that it's not talking to me, but boy, it sure is in me. And I feel like that's what, when I tune into this group, it's like there's the wonderful, lovely song of love, and there's all the poop that I collect. And you all put such great words to it. And it's like, I hope it's like you're saying the poop for me. And so I just embrace that. And then there are the flowers. And when I hear these lovely words, not just from the chorus, but how I tell you, the way that you all sing, I just could cry. I love it. I love listening to you. Thank you. You serenade my soul. Thank you.
Thank you, William.
What a
Thank you all
beautiful
for joining us
statement.
today. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lonnie.
I just said, what a beautiful statement. You serenade my soul. Oh my God.
Yeah, miracles are occurring here. for sure. Thank you, everyone. What a great hour. I'm going to turn it over to Cyndi, and hopefully I'll see y'all later on.
Thank you. Man, I love us. Let me stop this recording first. There we go.